Beloved chosen one, stop for a moment. Do not scroll past this. Do not assume this message is meant for someone else. You are here because heaven has stepped directly into your timeline. This is not chance. This is not algorithm. This is divine interruption. God is pressing pause on the noise around you because help from heaven has arrived, and your spirit was sensitive enough to hear the signal. You have been carrying a quiet question deep inside. How much longer? How much longer do you keep showing up without recognition? How much longer do you stretch finances that seem to run out before the month ends? How much longer do you stay strong for family while no one notices the weight you carry? You are not weak for asking. You are human. And yet, you are also chosen. In your work life, you have been consistent even when motivation disappeared. You did the right thing when shortcuts were available. You stayed when others quit. You adapted when systems failed. Still, advancement seemed delayed. Heaven saw every moment. Not 1 ounce of effort was wasted. God does not measure progress the way managers do. He measures faithfulness under pressure. In your finances, you have learned restraint. You delayed pleasures, cut expenses, and worried silently so others would not feel your stress. Some nights you calculated numbers again and again, hoping they would change. They did not. But something else did you learn: discipline, trust, and dependence on God instead of income alone. That lesson was not punishment. It was preparation. In your family, you have often been the emotional anchor. You absorbed tension so peace could remain. You forgave without apology. You listened without being heard. You stood in the gap while others rested. Heaven counts that as service, even if people never thanked you. There were moments you felt alone even while surrounded by people. Moments when prayer felt like talking into silence. Moments when you wondered if God had moved on to answer someone else's request instead of yours. But listen carefully, silence does not mean absence. Delay does not mean denial. And struggle does not mean God has stepped back. For the chosen, pressure is proof that something valuable is being shaped. Right now, you may feel tired in your body and foggy in your mind. Decisions that once felt simple now feel heavy. Even small choices seem exhausting. That does not mean you are failing, it means you are standing at the edge of transition. Fatigue often shows up right before reinforcement arrives. Help from heaven does not always appear as instant relief. Sometimes it arrives as strength to stand one more day. Sometimes it arrives as clarity instead of escape. Sometimes it arrives as peace before provision. God knows exactly what kind of help you need in this season. Picture this: a door you stopped knocking on suddenly opens through someone else's call. A financial pressure eases not through excess, but through unexpected stability. A family situation shifts because you respond with calm instead of reaction. These are not coincidences, these are signs that heaven is actively involved. You are not being rescued out of your assignment. You are being supported within it. The enemy wanted you to believe you were unsupported, unseen, and alone. That lie collapses now. As the psalmist declared in the book of Psalms, chapter 121, verse 2, "My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth." Notice where the help comes from. Not from systems, not from people, not from luck. From the one who created heaven and earth. That means the resources backing you are not limited by what you see right now. Your help is not delayed, it is sourced from eternity. This is why you are still standing when others would have broken. This is why you did not quit even when quitting made sense. This is why something inside you kept whispering, "Hold on." That whisper was heaven. Let me ask you directly, Chosen one, will you trust God as your source even when the method does not look the way you expected? If this message resonates with your spirit, do not keep it to yourself. Like this message, share it with someone who feels unseen, and subscribe so you stay connected to what God is releasing next. And as a sign of faith, comment 1 and 21 declaring that your help comes from the Lord, not from your circumstances. Do not rush this moment. Let it settle into your spirit. Sometimes God slows you down not to frustrate you, but to realign your focus. What is coming next will require clarity, not panic. Breathe. You are not behind. You are right where heaven can reach you. And remember, these breakthroughs do not always arrive loudly. Some arrive quietly, changing your inner posture before they change your outer world. Stay attentive. Stay obedient. What God has begun here will unfold with precision, not chaos. You will recognize it when it comes. You have been strong for a long time. Not loud strength, not celebrated strength, but quiet endurance. The kind that wakes up early even when the body is heavy. The kind that keeps responsibilities moving even when the heart feels behind. This section is not meant to push you harder. It is meant to teach you how to put something down without guilt. Because you were never created to carry everything alone. One of the greatest misunderstandings among the chosen is this. You think letting go means failure. You think resting means weakness. You think asking for help means you did not trust God enough. But heaven sees it differently. God does not ask you to drop everything. He asks you to release one small piece so He can step in. So today, the instruction is simple, practical, and immediate. Place down one small weight. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. It could be as small as stopping the habit of replaying one conversation that already happened. You cannot fix it anymore, but you keep carrying it. Put it down. It could be choosing not to solve a financial problem tonight at midnight when your mind is exhausted. Sleep is not avoidance, it is wisdom. It could be postponing one non-essential task that drains you but does not truly move your life forward. Small does not mean insignificant. Small means obedient. You have trained yourself to survive by over-functioning. When something breaks, you fix it. When someone struggles, you step in. When tension rises, you absorb it. This kept things stable, but it also taught your nervous system that rest is unsafe. God is now correcting that pattern gently. You are allowed to pause without everything collapsing. Let's talk about rhythm, not productivity. Rhythm. In your work life, you may have been living in reaction mode, responding to emails immediately, saying yes too quickly, allowing urgency to define your value. Resetting rhythm might mean choosing 1 hour of focused work instead of 10 hours of scattered anxiety. Quality restores peace faster than quantity. In your finances, rhythm may look like creating space between fear and decision. Instead of making choices when panic rises, you wait, pray, and decide with clarity. Even a simple habit, reviewing finances once a week instead of constantly checking, can calm your inner world. In your family or relationships, rhythm could mean not fixing every emotional shift, letting others feel discomfort without rescuing them. Silence is not neglect. Sometimes it is respect for growth. This is where many chosen ones feel resistance. You fear that if you stop holding everything together, things will fall apart. But hear this clearly: what depends entirely on you is already too heavy. God never intended for you to be the source, only the vessel. There is a moment recorded in Scripture that speaks directly to this pressure. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 55, verse 22. Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. Notice what the verse does not say. It does not say God removes every burden instantly. It says He sustains you. That means you are held steady while the weight is redistributed. You are supported while the process unfolds. Sustaining grace often looks like endurance without collapse, clarity without panic, strength without strain. Let me give you a very real picture. Imagine carrying grocery bags into your house. At first, you think you can take them all in one trip. You grip harder, your hands hurt. The bags cut into your fingers. Halfway there, something starts to slip. Pride says, "Don't drop it." Wisdom says, "Set one bag down." God is asking you to set one bag down, not because you are weak, but because you are human. You may feel guilt rising as you consider this. That guilt is not from God. It comes from a false belief that your value is tied to how much you carry. Heaven does not measure worth that way. Heaven measures obedience, trust, and timing. Today's practice is not dramatic. It is grounded. It fits your daily life. Before the day ends, ask yourself one honest question. What am I carrying today that God never asked me to carry alone? Then release it through prayer, through rest, through postponement, or through asking for support. Release does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means transferring weight. As you reset your rhythm, you will notice something subtle. Your breath deepens, your reactions slow, your clarity returns. That is not laziness. That is alignment. The chosen do not burn out, they learn how to lean. You are not behind. You are recalibrating. You are not failing. You are finally responding to the wisdom heaven has been offering quietly all along. This section is not about doing more. It is about carrying less so that what truly matters can move forward without crushing you. You are not imagining it, something is stabilizing inside you. Not dramatically, not loudly, but steadily. The kind of strengthening that does not announce itself, yet quietly changes how you respond to pressure. This is the stage where heaven's help becomes internal before it becomes visible. Many people miss this phase because they are looking for signs outside. They expect immediate changes in circumstances, finances, or recognition. But God often begins by recalibrating you. Because if the outside changes too quickly while the inside remains fragile, the blessing becomes a burden. This is why this season feels different. You still face responsibilities, but they no longer crush you the same way. You still feel tired at times, but the exhaustion does not own you. You still encounter uncertainty, but panic no longer controls your decisions. That shift is not accidental. That is heaven reinforcing your inner foundation. In everyday life, this strengthening shows up in practical ways. At work, when expectations are unclear or pressure increases, you notice yourself pausing instead of reacting. You no longer rush to prove your worth. You ask clarifying questions and you prioritize wisely. You conserve energy. That restraint is not weakness, it is authority settling in. In finances, the numbers may not have changed yet, but your relationship with money has. You no longer make decisions out of fear. You are learning to wait, plan, and choose stability over impulse. This inner discipline will soon protect you when increase arrives. In relationships, especially family, you stop over-explaining. You stop carrying emotions that do not belong to you. You let people have their reactions without absorbing them. This does not make you cold. It makes you emotionally anchored. Anchoring comes before expansion. You are transitioning from surviving to being sustained. This is why some old habits feel uncomfortable now. Overthinking drains you faster. Overcommitting feels heavier. Reacting emotionally feels out of alignment. Your spirit is being trained for a different pace, a pace where strength flows from the inside instead of being borrowed from adrenaline and urgency. God is not speeding you up, He is deepening you. There is a verse that captures exactly what is happening beneath the surface. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 3, verse 16, that He may grant you to be strengthened with power through His Spirit in your inner being. Pay attention to the language. Strengthened with power, not motivation, not pressure, power. And not externally, but in your inner being. This means your emotional reactions, your thought patterns, and your spiritual posture are being fortified. This kind of strengthening changes how you face the same problems. A difficult conversation no longer shakes your identity. A delay no longer feels like rejection. A quiet season no longer feels like abandonment. You begin to understand that God is not absent. He is active at a deeper level. Let's make this very real. Imagine receiving unexpected criticism. The old version of you would replay it for days. The strengthened version evaluates it calmly, keeping what is useful, discarding what is not. That is power. Imagine feeling the familiar wave of anxiety late at night. Instead of spiraling, you slow your breathing, ground your thoughts, and rest. That is power. Imagine being tempted to rush into a decision just to escape uncertainty, but choosing to wait instead. That is power. Heaven's help often looks like self-control restored, clarity returned, and peace regained before any external breakthrough happens. This stage is not glamorous, but it is essential. Because what God is preparing to entrust to you next requires steadiness, not emotional volatility. It requires discernment, not impulse. It requires rootedness, not noise. Let me ask you directly, can you honor this quiet strengthening? Even if no one applauds it yet. Because soon people will notice the difference. They will say you seem calmer, more focused, less reactive. They may not know why. You will. Now, there is a reason I want you to respond with a specific, simple phrase. In the comments, write "strength within me." This phrase matters because it is not a demand, it is a recognition. You are not asking God to prove Himself. You are acknowledging what He is already doing. You are declaring awareness of an internal work that is easy to overlook. Strength, not emotion, not excitement, but stability. Within, not dependent on circumstances, me personal, present, and owned. This declaration aligns your focus with the truth of this season. Heaven is reinforcing you from the inside out. You are not late. You are not weak. You are not overlooked. You are being strengthened quietly so that when the next door opens, you walk through it steady, clear, and unshaken. What is coming will require exactly the kind of inner strength you are receiving now. Peter had done everything right by logic. He had worked all night. He understood the water, the timing, the habits of fish. He followed experience and effort to the letter. And still, the nets came up empty. By morning, his shoulders were tired, his hands rough, his hope already folded away. He was washing the nets not with expectation, but with resignation. The work was finished. The outcome felt decided. And then Jesus spoke, not with explanation, not with a new method, just a quiet instruction that went against logic. Data and emotional common sense go back out and let down the nets again. This is where obedience becomes deeply personal. Peter could have defended himself. He could have protected his pride with facts. He could have said, "I tried. I know this work. This does not make sense." Instead, something shifted inside him. He allowed trust to overrule understanding. He answered with the words that reveal the heart of obedience, "Because you say so." That moment, tired, ordinary, uncelebrated, changed everything. This story is not about fishing. It is about the point where your reasoning reaches its limit, and obedience asks you to move anyway. Not blind obedience, but relational obedience, the kind that trusts the voice even when instruction contradicts experience. You are standing in that moment now. You have already tried. In your career, you adjusted, learned, stayed consistent. Still no breakthrough. In your finances, you planned carefully and acted responsibly. Still tight. In relationships, you communicated, forgave, waited. Still unresolved. So you began washing the nets emotionally, spiritually. You lowered expectations not because peace came, but because disappointment taught you to brace yourself. You told yourself, maybe this is just how it is. And now God is speaking again. Not urgently, not loudly, but clearly. Try again, but this time let obedience lead where logic stops. This instruction is difficult not because it is dramatic, but because it risks disappointment one more time. Obedience feels dangerous when you have already failed honestly. Yet heaven often places breakthrough behind one final act of trust. Peter's second cast was not fueled by excitement. It was fueled by surrender. In daily life, this obedience looks simple. Applying one more time after rejection shaped your confidence. Reopening a conversation you closed to protect yourself. Managing money faithfully even when increase has not arrived. Choosing integrity again when compromise feels faster. This obedience does not feel powerful. It feels quiet, vulnerable. Then comes what Peter could not calculate. The nets fill suddenly, so full they begin to tear. What experience alone could not produce was unlocked through alignment. Obedience did not replace effort. It activated heaven's cooperation. As Jesus declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 5, verse 4, "Put out into deep water and let down the nets for a catch." Deep water is where control fades and certainty disappears. That is why obedience there matters most. God is not asking you to abandon wisdom. He is asking you to stop letting logic have the final word. You may wonder, what if I try again and it still doesn't work? That question comes from memory-shaped fear. Obedience is never wasted even when outcomes delay because it reshapes the one who obeys. Peter did not pull the net alone. Jesus was in the boat. The weight that would have broken him before was now shared. God does not ask you to carry more. He asks you to carry with him. Imagine how this changes daily life. At work, you trust timing more than pressure. In finances, you choose consistency over panic. In relationships, you respond with truth instead of control. You let down the net again not because you are certain, but because you are aligned. If this message feels like a voice you recognize, you may leave a gentle mark like setting a stone beside the path to say, "I heard." You might pass the light to another traveler still washing empty nets. Or you may choose to keep walking with this voice, staying close so you do not navigate deep water alone. None of this is demanded. All of it is an open door. Let me ask you directly, what is the one area where God is asking you to let down the net again, this time trusting His word more than your experience? The next catch may not come from effort. It may come from obedience that finally outruns logic. Sometimes obedience does not shout. It nods quietly and moves anyway. You feel the hesitation, yet you act. Not because certainty arrived, but because trust outweighed fatigue. That is how deep water is entered step by step, breath by breath. And when the net begins to tighten, you realize something important. The miracle did not start in the water. It started the moment you chose obedience over explanation. Long before the catch appeared, alignment had already taken place. There is a phase in every breakthrough that feels strangely unsettling. Things are moving, yet not fully visible. Doors are shifting, yet not wide open. You sense momentum, but you cannot yet explain it. This is the moment when resistance often increases, not because you are wrong, but because alignment is becoming undeniable. This section is for the moment when you feel pressure without clarity. You may notice it in subtle ways. Conversations change tone. Certain people pull back while others suddenly appear. Plans you relied on no longer hold, while new possibilities quietly emerge. Nothing is collapsing, but nothing feels the same either. That discomfort is not confusion, it is transition. When God begins to elevate, He also begins to separate. Not everyone who walked with you can walk where you are going next. Not every system that sustained you can support the next level. This does not mean people are evil or paths were wrong. It simply means seasons have limits. In your work life, you may feel less satisfied with roles that once felt secure. Tasks that used to energize you now feel restrictive. You are not ungrateful, you are outgrowing the container. God often creates dissatisfaction not to frustrate you, but to move you. In finances, you may notice that old strategies no longer stretch far enough. What used to work barely holds. This is not punishment. It is an invitation to upgrade your thinking, your stewardship, and your trust. New levels require new frameworks. In relationships, distance may form not through conflict, but through misalignment. Conversations feel shallow. Values feel mismatched. You may feel lonely even when surrounded. This is one of the hardest parts of elevation, because separation often happens quietly. Here is the truth few talk about: breakthrough exposes difference. When God's favor begins to rest on your life, it does not only open doors, it reveals hearts. Some will celebrate you. Some will misunderstand you. Some will resist you. This is not your cue to explain yourself. It is your cue to stay grounded. This is where many chosen ones sabotage the process. They try to pull everyone with them. They shrink themselves to maintain comfort. They delay obedience to preserve familiarity. But elevation requires permission to let go. You are not called to convince everyone. You are called to remain faithful. There is a powerful reminder written in Scripture that anchors this moment. The Apostle Paul reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 14. The person without the Spirit does not accept the things that come from the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to them. This verse explains why some people cannot understand what God is doing in your life right now. It is not because you are wrong. It is because discernment requires spiritual alignment. Not everyone can see what heaven is building in you. That realization brings both freedom and grief. Freedom because you stop seeking validation from the wrong places. Grief because letting go, even of good things, still hurts. Let's make this practical. Imagine being promoted internally, but feeling isolated because peers now treat you differently. Or deciding to pursue a calling that pays less at first, while others question your wisdom. Or choosing emotional boundaries that upset people who benefited from your overgiving. These moments test your identity. You will be tempted to retreat, to over-explain, to justify your choices. Resist that urge. Stability in transition comes from quiet confidence, not constant defense. God is teaching you to stand without applause. This is also the phase where discernment sharpens. You begin to recognize which voices bring clarity and which bring confusion. You feel peace around some people and tension around others. That sensitivity is not weakness. It is guidance. Honor it. Elevation is not loud at first. It is lonely before it is celebrated. It is misunderstood before it is respected. This does not mean you are off course. It often means you are exactly where you need to be. Let me ask you something important. Are you willing to let God rearrange your environment even if it costs familiarity? Because what is coming next will require space. Space in your schedule, space in your mind, space in your relationships. God cannot pour new wine into containers that are already full. You are not losing people, you are gaining clarity, and clarity is protection. This season is not about proving yourself, it is about positioning. Staying aligned when pressure invites compromise. Staying humble when favor begins to show. Staying grounded when opinions swirl. You are being prepared for visibility, and visibility always tests character before it rewards faithfulness. Before moving forward, anchor yourself with a simple prophetic response. In the comments, write 555. This number represents grace in transition, the courage to move forward even when everything is shifting. It is not superstition, it is intention, a quiet way of saying, I trust God's process even when I don't fully see the outcome. What is happening now is not rejection, it is redirection. What feels like loss is actually alignment making room. Stay steady, stay honest, stay obedient. The separation will make sense soon. There comes a point in every calling where noise fades and responsibility sharpens. This is not the stage of excitement. It is the stage of authority. You are no longer asking whether God is with you, you are learning how to walk as if He is, even when no one is watching. This is where many people hesitate, because authority is heavier than inspiration. In earlier seasons, momentum carried you, encouragement helped, signs reassured you, but now, heaven is asking for consistency without constant confirmation. Not because God is distant, but because trust has matured. You are learning how to move without needing applause. In daily life, this looks ordinary but demanding. At work, you take ownership instead of waiting for instruction. You choose excellence even when shortcuts are unnoticed. You make decisions that protect long-term integrity instead of short-term approval. Leadership begins internally before it is recognized externally. In finances, you practice restraint even when you could indulge. You plan with wisdom instead of emotion. You think generationally, not impulsively. This kind of stewardship is quiet, but it builds stability others cannot see yet. In family and relationships, you stop reacting and start responding. You hold boundaries without anger. You speak truth without needing to win. You understand that peace is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of clarity. Authority forms when you stop outsourcing responsibility for your inner world. This is also the stage where temptation shifts. It no longer looks like obvious wrongdoing. It looks like distraction, fatigue, compromise justified by pressure. You may feel tempted to numb yourself, to disengage, to coast. That is not rebellion, it is exhaustion testing your discipline. God meets you here with reinforcement, not rebuke. There is a strength that comes from alignment, not adrenaline, and heaven is anchoring you in it. The ancient words recorded in Romans still echo today. Chapter 8, verse 11. If the spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead dwells in you, he who raised Christ Jesus from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies through his Spirit who dwells in you. This verse is not poetic comfort, it is operational truth. The same Spirit that raised the dead sustains the living. That means strength is not limited to your energy. Clarity is not limited to your mood. And perseverance is not limited to your circumstances. You are not operating on your own reserves anymore. This is why you are still standing when logic says you should be depleted. This is also why rest becomes strategic here, not escape, but renewal. You begin to understand that stopping is sometimes the most obedient act you can perform. You sleep when needed. You unplug without guilt. You protect your mind. These are not indulgences, they are maintenance for what you carry. Authority that refuses rest eventually collapses. God is teaching you rhythm so your calling lasts. You may notice that fewer people have access to you now. Conversations feel more intentional. Your time feels more guarded. This is not isolation, it is stewardship. When purpose sharpens, boundaries become necessary. You are learning when to speak and when to stay silent, when to step forward and when to wait. Discernment replaces impulse. This is maturity. There will be moments when you feel unseen again. That does not mean you went backward. It means God is strengthening roots while others only look for fruit. Deep roots do not announce themselves, but they hold everything steady when storms come. You are being trusted with quiet influence. Influence that stabilizes rooms. Influence that shifts outcomes through presence, not noise. Influence that carries weight because it carries truth. This season asks you to keep choosing what is right even when no one is checking. To remain disciplined when enthusiasm fades. To stay faithful when the reward is not immediate. That is how authority is formed. Let me bring this into a simple, everyday image. Think of a lighthouse. It does not chase ships. It does not shout. It stands, steady and consistent, night after night. Ships do not thank it. They simply survive because it was there. That is the role you are stepping into. Not dramatic, not constantly affirmed, but essential. You are no longer proving your calling. You are living it. And even if this season feels quieter than the last, do not mistake silence for stagnation. Heaven often does its deepest work without an audience. What is being established now will support what comes next. Stay grounded, stay disciplined, stay aligned. Authority is not given in a moment. It is built in seasons like this. And understand this quietly, nothing in this season is being wasted. Every restrained response, every disciplined choice, every unseen act of faithfulness is forming a foundation that will not crack under pressure. What God is entrusting to you next will rest securely on what you are building now. You have reached the place few speak about, yet many quietly long for the moment after survival, after shaping, after strengthening, when you realize you are no longer becoming someone else. You are becoming yourself, without fear, without apology. This is the quiet arrival, not the kind announced with noise or applause, but the kind that settles into your posture and changes how you stand. You look back and see the weight you carried, the nights you endured, the versions of yourself that almost gave up. And you understand something sacred, none of it disqualified you. It crowned you. This is where endurance turns into legacy. You are no longer chasing direction. You are walking in it. You are no longer asking whether you belong. You know. The questions that once haunted you have softened, not because answers shouted, but because peace arrived and stayed. In everyday life, this shows itself gently but unmistakably. At work, you no longer over-explain your value. You move with clarity. Your presence steadies rooms. People may not know why they trust you, but they do. In your finances, you think beyond urgency. You steward instead of scramble. Fear of lack no longer drives you. Wisdom does. In relationships, you love without disappearing. You give without depletion. You stand firm without becoming hard. This is what it looks like to be crowned after the storm. Not crowned with applause, but with authority. Not crowned with perfection, but with discernment. Not crowned to dominate, but to serve with strength. There is a line of scripture that names this moment with quiet power. As the Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to Timothy, chapter 4. Verse 7, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Notice the order. Fight, finish, keep. You fought when it hurt. You finished when quitting made sense. You kept faith when outcomes were unclear. This is not about reaching comfort. It is about reaching confidence in God. You are not flawless, but you are faithful. And faithfulness carries a weight heaven recognizes. Now hear this clearly. What comes next is not pressure to do more. It is permission to stand fully as who you are, to stop shrinking, to stop apologizing for depth, to stop hiding wisdom earned through pain. Your story is not meant to be locked away. Not because you owe the world anything, but because light naturally moves toward darkness. When someone else sees you standing whole after everything you walked through, something inside them exhales. Hope does not need a microphone. It only needs proof. That is how influence spreads, not by force, but by resonance. Think of a fire on a cold night. It does not chase people, none, it simply burns steadily. Those who need warmth draw near. Those who don't keep walking. Both are free. This is the presence you now carry. And here, at the close of this journey, there is a gentle invitation, not a demand, not an instruction, but an open space. If these words have stirred something real in you, you may choose to leave a quiet line behind, like writing your name in the margin of a well-loved book. Not to explain yourself, but to say, "This spoke to me." Some will press a simple sign of agreement. Some will carry the warmth onward to another soul. And some will remain close, returning whenever the path feels long. None of these gestures are required. They are like placing a lantern in the window, soft, visible, and freely given. Some mark the moment, some share the light, some stay for the long walk. All of it is beautiful when chosen freely. So let me ask you one final, honest question only for you to answer. What kind of legacy do you want your endurance to leave behind? One that fades quietly, or one that becomes a light others recognize when their road grows dark? You were never meant only to survive. You were shaped to stand and to guide, so to carry hope without noise. And now you do. And as you step forward from this moment, do not rush to explain who you are becoming. Let your consistency speak. Let your peace answer questions before words ever do. What is real will be recognized without announcement, in time. Carry this season gently. Do not harden around it. What you endured refined you, but it was never meant to make you guarded. Stay open, stay discerning, stay human. Strength that remains tender becomes a safe place for others. When the path grows quiet again, remember this: you are not walking alone. Even when footsteps are few, heaven remains near, not to rush you, but to walk with you. And that companionship will be enough, always. Before we part, let this ending remain open, like a door left ajar, not to pull you back, but to honor your freedom. If these words have been useful to you, you will know it without anyone telling you. Something will have settled. Something will have clarified. In that case, you may feel a quiet desire to pass it along, not to persuade, not to convince, but simply to offer it the way one offers water on a long road. Shared freely, received freely. And if this message was not for you in this season, that is also allowed. You are not required to carry what does not belong to you. Still, there may be a single line, a single image, a single moment that brushed against something real inside. If so, keep that. Let the rest go. Wisdom knows how to select without forcing. Not every word is meant to be held, but one honest sentence can stay with you for years. You do not need to agree with everything to be changed by something. You do not need to remember everything to be guided by one truth. Life will keep moving after this. Responsibilities will return. Noise will resume. But perhaps you will move through it slightly differently, less rushed, more anchored, more aware of the quiet strength you carry. That is enough. There is no demand here, no expectation, no tally of response, only respect for your discernment. Take what nourished you, release what didn't, trust yourself to know the difference. And if someday you remember this moment not because of the words, but because of how you felt reading them, then it served its purpose. The rest is up to you.